You know, it's kind of almost like I was trying to admit that I was blind, but even back then I could still feel that I was only just saying, well, yeah, I'm a little bit blind, but you know, then complete acting like a sighted person. So I was kind of being quite a bit of a walking contradiction, but I had so many issues in my mind, like how to deal with being blind and everything that goes with it, you know, the whole social change. But yeah, I remember when I did that exhibition, and I did an interview, and I remember like the headline saying deaf blind photographer, and I remember I hated it. Absolutely hated it. Hello, my name's Ian Traherne. I'm from Southend-on-Sea and I'm a blind photographer. Yeah, I think it was around about when I was about 15 years old, when I was out with my friends, you know, sort of just doing what kids normally do, just hanging around. I kind of realised that I wasn't really able to see as much as my friends, so I got my parents to take me to the opticians, and that's when they told me that I need to go to the hospital and I got something really seriously wrong with my eyes, and then I was told by a specialist that I've got a condition called Retina Pigmentosa type 2. Ironically, it's very much like a camera. All the mirrors in your retina that catches all the light, you know, that creates your vision, your imagery, a bit like the little sensor in your camera. Basically all my mirrors are either dead or dying. That makes a huge loss of sight, so I've got no peripheral vision at all. So you know, if I put my hand out, I don't really start seeing anything until I get my hands to about here. So whereas I know by talking with other people, I think when you're looking straight ahead, you can still see your hand to the side. So all this is all black. There's just nothing there, completely nothing. Just me looking at this screen, like it looks like I can see the whole thing. And it's like I'm just whizzing around like a regular sighted person. But actually, when I look at this screen, yeah, I only see a very small windows. So I'm constantly scanning everywhere. That's the same when I'm taking photos. I'm working, you know, 4 times as harder with my eyes to make sure I'm getting all the details in there. Yeah, I tend to work predominantly in black and white. I've always been interested in that kind of high contrast shadow, that kind of noir sort of look, so obviously it excites me visually. So and also because I'm colourblind, it's just so much easier to work with, sort of atmospheric. Yeah, I started really early, if I'm honest. Like my first access to a camera was ironically one up there. It's like a real cheapy £10 film camera. Yeah, it's this one here. Like a friend of mine's mum sort of lent it to me, I think, and I just pretty much, I was about 17 and I was literally just snapping like everything, just photographing everything that I was doing, every little weird funny moment that was happening in my life, because I wanted to collect as many memories, you know, before it, you know, goes too dark. Yeah, I had this sort of urgency to just see as much as possible and collect as many memories, and that's what I did really. Yeah, it was kind of difficult because back in the 90s and you know, even the noughties, you know, people didn't really talk about mental health. So I spent many years hiding my blindness, hid it because I was embarrassed, ashamed, and also that I knew that once you sort of tell someone that you're disabled, you know, you kind of get treated differently, and that was something that I didn't really want. So I spent many years hiding my condition, really, sort of acting like a sighted person. But then that unfortunately caught up with me. You know, years of acting like a sighted person caused so much stress and anxiety and just so many issues. Yeah, 2012 was like the start of the big change. Up until that point, I kind of kept it hidden as much as possible, but then it started to come out, and because at this point I'd lost my driver's licence, I had to hand it in because I'd gone past the guidelines. I lost my job, my eyes had gotten worse, and because the recession was happening, I lost my flat, which I had a mortgage on. I was forced into bankruptcy, which was a real kick. So yeah, I lost all that in the space of 1 year, and yeah, my mental health just completely don't know, kind of slightly derailed for a bit. But it wasn't until 2014 where I fully had a fully fledged breakdown. Yeah, I was ready to commit suicide, I had it all planned out. And yeah, and really spent the next 3 years sitting in this flat, trying to figure out how to go forward and trying to keep myself alive. Yeah, it's definitely one that I most likely will play. I don't know, it's not a very well-known album, but I don't know, when I came across it, it just hit me like a ton of bricks. Yeah, it's just, don't know, so atmospheric and, don't know, just full of tension, and, you know, it's not commercial. Don't know, it's got so much feeling into it. I don't know, it just never get bored listening to the sound. But I was so over the moon when I did get it. I love the whole sounds. It's almost like jazz rock, where they're kind of like play like repetitive sort of sounds. I don't know, it just sort of carries you along. But because it's, I don't know, experimental, I guess. I especially love all the guitar in there. Yeah, I don't know, it just hits the spot really. So,
what's your favorite song from this album? Is it Won't Be On?
I'm getting a little bit flustered. Can I just take 5 minutes out? I feel like I'm getting claustrophobic and I'm going to freak out in a minute. I really am.
We can take a break whenever you want.
Yeah, I need. Yeah,
Do you need more space?
what I think I need is just sort of let you tell me what you want to do, because I feel really overwhelmed today. Been doing so much. Probably why my head's a little bit. Yeah, I've always come over to Gutted Hall Woods. It's a very beautiful place, very therapeutic. I don't know, it just looks very cinematic. Yeah, it's just, I don't know, it just keeps me grounded and sort of happy, and it just seems to, I don't know, help me mentally really. Sort of, I mean, I'd come over here with my friend when I was in the middle of a breakdown, you know, and it was it's just like a slow sort of recovery.
Yeah.
I had a few cries over here, and I've got a little story to tell you about a Hobbit House that I built here once. It's not here anymore, but it was up for about over a year. It was just something that me and my friend were walking past this particular tree, and I joked that it looked like a Hobbit house because my nickname's Hobbit. You know, and I just thought, oh, it looks really cool. So I come back and I decided to paint the doorway because there's this particular door shape around the bark, and it looked like a little doorway. So I painted the door, and then created like a little fence, then a little front garden, and then people started coming over and started leaving things, pinning notes to the tree, and there was lots of kids coming over. What I've realised is that the general public think you either see or you're blind. So that means blind means total nothing. That's generally, you see, you don't see, that's it. And even on TV, that's what they show, completely blind people. But in actual fact, there's only 7% in the UK that are completely blind. That's just 7%. So this whole perception is built on that 7%. Do you know what I mean? So the whole 93% of people, myself included, that have got, you know, some form of residing sight, yeah, it's a complete misplaced conception, and until that changes, yeah, that confusion's just going to carry on, and that's just something that I've become really passionate about, because no one really seems to be talking about it, and I've kind of been waiting for someone else to sort of lead the way, you know, and sort of realising that no one else is going to do it. So I kind of sort of put myself out there to be the person saying, "Wait, what's going on? Let's change this." And that's one thing I've noticed, that since I've been talking about blindness and photography, I've had so many blind or visually impaired people coming up saying, "Oh yeah, I like doing photography and I want to do it, or I do it," and people sort of been staring so much that I've put the camera down, and so I'm kind of like, want to, yeah, just get rid of that kind of perception that, you know, you can't take photos because you've got an eye problem. You know, if you've got a disability or a challenge in your life, if it's like visual, I think you should just go for it, you know, don't be too confined to rules. I think you just got to work with what eyesight you have, because everyone's different. I think just have a go, like, and don't let anyone tell you that you can't do it or shouldn't be doing it because you've got a disability, and that does happen. I think just do it, have a go. Like, there's absolutely no reason not to, no. You're too nice.